Alright, so we're going to take a look at what my budget looks like at this moment. Now, right now, this is a fresh start budget just for this video. It doesn't have all of my money in it that's actually attached. I don't have any accounts attached. I just wanted to have just the categories so we're not distracted by all the colors and things like that. So these are my major category groups. I've got staying alive somehow, which is like my, things like rent and my phone bill and things like that that I have to pay every month. I've got my subscriptions, some of which are monthly, some of which are annual, but those are just things. I separated those out just because I was wanting to take a look at those specifically, and I did end up cutting something, which we'll talk about later. I've got vices, which is things like ordering food, going out for drinks with friends, all my fun money, things like that, which is a category I try to drop the most and have the least success with. I've got adulting costs money, which is mostly sinking funds and things like that. I've got vacation, all I ever wanted, which I'm sure you can guess is any trips I plan on taking. I've got my savings, which is also kind of sinking funds, but more long term. And then I have my wish list, which I don't actively fund anything on that. It's just kind of a list of things that I kind of want to remember that I want, and I change things on there all the time. I don't have any money in that category ever, even my regular budget. And then my hidden categories, I just have this this gym membership that I ended up canceling because I have not been going, especially in COVID times. So it's hidden for now because I like to think maybe one day, but for now, not in use. So let's go ahead and take a look at just this section. I've got a section for my student loans. I fund that in its own budget entirely. Put a whole other budget for just my student loans, and so that's its own thing. I keep this line right here in order to any extra money I find in my regular budget that I want to send over to that. I have this line for that. That's a new thing that I'm doing. I just made the new student loan budget, so I don't have anything going on with that right now. My rent, this is my phone bill that I send to my brother-in-law. My Spectrum is our internet. Con Ed is our electricity. My grocery budget, I budget weekly for that. It's $60 a week. I don't usually spend that. I do get a free meal at work every day, and I work a lot. So 5 days a week I'm eating at work for the most part, so I don't actually usually even spend that much on groceries. I have a really bad tendency to spend money on eating out and then transfer that money from my grocery budget. Working on cutting that down. I've got my household stuff, which I use for things like toilet paper, dish soap, things like that. Personal care would be my shampoo, body wash, all those kind of things. My date night, I budget $45 a week for date night, so we can go out to a nice dinner every other week or so. Harvey Boy is my cat. Harvey Dent of the Batman fame is his name, and he has actually some dental work that he needs to get done that I'm saving up for, as well as just his general litter, food, and toys. So we have a budget for that. I get a haircut every other month or so. I spend $60 to go to the nice barbershop downtown, and I put $20 a month toward clothing. I have been thinking about upping this because there are some things that I need. As you can see over here in the notes, I have a list of all these things that I kind of want to get, so, could be changing. And then I've got this I forgot category that I have not used in months, and I could probably get away with deleting because now that I've got my budget really, really hammered out and really fine-tuned, I don't forget things so much. All right, my subscriptions. I've got renter's insurance. I've got pet insurance. Just general things. I pay for iCloud storage on my phone, just so I don't have to keep all my photos on my phone at all times. I pay for Netflix, and I'm on somebody else's Hulu, so they pay for that one, and we've shared accounts. Don't tell anyone. I have an annual subscription to YNAB, of course, and I pay like $13 a month towards that. Maybe it's $14 now with the price change. I don't know. And then I do pay for an annual Instacart membership. I get my groceries delivered. I live on the 4th floor of a walk-up building. I tip well. I also have a tendency to be more careful with my money if I'm shopping through the app versus going into a store and just going wild. I also do split that annual membership with 2 other people, so it's only like $33 a year for each of us or something. It's not, for me, it's worth it. All right, vices. I spend a lot of money in this category and I don't budget for it. So I very recently have added this holding category where I just put $75 in there every week, and then these things need to come from that $75. So it's only been like a week or two that I've been doing this, and I'm having success with it so far, but I do have COVID right now and I can't leave my house. So, like I said, I live in New York City, so tickets 99% of the time, Broadway tickets, but also every once in a while there's a concert I want to go to. So I've got a tickets category, and I was saving up for some tickets to something, and then my girlfriend bought them for me for part of my Christmas gift, so I could redistribute that money, which was nice. I also really like to go out to bars with my friends. And, you know, New York City, there's a lot of bar options. And also, when you get off work and you just want to go to the local dive bar, I'm trying to cut back on that. It's not going too well. I also am a DoorDash fiend. I order food like crazy. I've really been trying to rein it in and make more food at home, but I get off work really late and I just end up picking up McDonald's or something on the way home. It's terrible for me. It's terrible for my budget. It's a really bad habit that I'm trying to break, and I'm hoping that maybe telling you this will make it stop, because I have spent, I'll show you in the other budget. It's crazy how much money I've spent on this. And then fun money. I don't spend a lot here. It's just little things that doesn't fit into any of this other stuff. It's usually these three things right here that I spend my vice money on. Adulting costs money. So I do have a category just for Yankee Candle. That is because I love wax melts. That probably should be in vices, but I'm calling it adulting because it makes my room smell nice, and I'm calling it self-care, you know? So $20 a month, and then when I hit $60, I can buy like 10 wax melts. And so like every 3 months or so, that's plenty for me. It's fine. I have a moving category, but I also just decided that I'm not moving when my lease is up, so I can adjust that actually. I do wear glasses, and they are very heavy duty prescription, and they are very expensive. Gifts, I just put $100 a month towards. My girlfriend is a Virgo. At Christmas happens, family member gifts. I put $100 a month, $1,200 a year. Call it good on gifts, and that worked out last year. So I'm not currently funding my Roth IRA, but this is there to remind me. My medical category, I have a goal in mind that I'm kind of working towards. I'm not, as you'll see, my monthly goals are a little bit higher than my actual income. So when I get extra money, I throw it towards things like this. My dental, I just had a lot of dental work done. I know I have some more to do. I did upgrade my dental plan last year, and that has greatly cut down on my dental costs, so I haven't needed as much. Fortunately, I pay $4 extra a week, and it saved me like $800 last year. It was totally worth it. And then I do have this giving category that I don't really have anything in mind, but I kind of keep it here for when I do come up with something that I'm really passionate about. And then I do have a website and things like that for my theater art, but that's not anything I'm doing right now, thanks COVID. So that does not have a goal or anything right now, but I keep it there also to remind myself that it is something I want to work on, and maybe I can build a goal up for that. Vacations. So Bakersfield is my hometown. That's where I'm from. It's in California. Like I said, I'm in New York City, so that is all the way across the entire country. I have a trip planned in March to go back home, so I'm saving up some money for that. Dirty 30 is my birthday. I'm turning 30 in September, and me and my girlfriend are going to the UK. We're gonna spend some time out there. Just a long-term goal of passport renewal. It doesn't expire until like 2028 or something, but I saw somebody mention it in one of my budgeting groups, and I was like, that's a great idea. And then it's $2 a month. So, and then the travel category is actually where I categorize purchases for specific trips. I have just this overarching travel, so that way I can keep this one category ongoing and delete these as I go. And then I've got savings. So these, like I said, are long-term goals, like years or longer in the future. This category is for an engagement ring for my girlfriend at some point in the future. That's her ring size. Obviously, we have not been dating long enough for me to purchase an engagement ring, but I know that in my life, proposing and getting married is something I do want to do, so I am saving for that now. Harvey's emergency fund is for his deductible for his pet insurance. Income replacement, this is funded as it is because this is my emergency fund. This is where I place that in the other budget. Computer replacement, I'm gonna want a new computer sometime in the next couple years. My laptop's working fine now, but I know that can't possibly go on much longer. Getting married and a down payment, these are all like way down the line, and I just kind of threw some goals on there just to have in mind, like possibly what I want to do in my life. And then my wish list, like I said, I don't use this actually. It's just kind of stuff that I'm gonna want eventually. Nothing that I'm working on or towards right this second, and none of it is needs, or it would be elsewhere in the budget. So now we have an idea of the categories. This is my budget as it stands right this moment. Accounts on the side here, things. So I've got rent ready to go for the first of the month. My roommate pays the Spectrum and Con Ed bills, and then she just Venmo requests me. So whenever she sends those over, they'll be here ready to go. I've got $70 in my grocery budget for the rest of this month, which is 4 days, so we are good to go. That'll get us through the first week of next year. I did have to. I had $25 in here, and then I thought about it, and there's nothing that I really need, so I took it out and I ordered food. I did. I got a Subway sandwich. I shouldn't have done it, but it was delicious. And then personal care, I spent a lot on this month because I had to buy a bunch of at-home COVID tests, and they were positive. I had COVID. Date night, I took the rest of the money out for this last part of the month because I, like I said, have COVID and can't leave the house until the 1st, so I will have another paycheck between now and then. So we'll do that. Same with my haircut. I can't get my hair cut this week, so I took the money out and I'll refund it later. Clothing, I gotta be better about funding this one. I do. All these bills are paid for the month already, and I did a fresh start on my budget at the very beginning of this month. So it was paid. I paid it. It's just the fresh start. Everything else is on track for my yearly. Like I said, look at these funds, $315, and I go out with friends a lot. It's too much. It's too much. Oh, and then I bought flowers and bought PlayStation games. It's just, I've been indulging. And we went to the Lightscape, a light show, and the Natural History Museum, and I'm just, I gotta rein this category in. It's crazy. $700, like, I could do so much with $773. That's not these things, but I love my friends and I'm going and doing things with them. This category is funded. Next month I'll be able to buy my stuff. Like I said, not funding this one right now. Vision funded. I'm going to get new glasses in January. Gifts, we are spent for the year. Spent all this money on Christmas and such. And then these I'm just not attacking at the moment. Credit card payments, classic category. They make sure I pay everything off every month. I've got $400 in each category for my trips, which is exciting. I'm really looking forward to those this year. We are on track with the ring budget. My income replacement category is my emergency fund. I've got $2,300 in there. And there is no money anywhere else in the budget. Like I said, I'm underfunded this month by about $1,200. But some of these things don't need to be funded. So that is that there. Alright, so this is my student loan budget. It's called, "Oh no, my future, it's broken," which is a TikTok. So I have this set up right now. It's a little rough around the edges because everything is on deferment right now. But I'm still, every single week, my paycheck automatically deposits $200 into my savings account, and that is purely for paying off my student loans. So right now, I just got my finances in order this year. So right now, at this moment, I've got just under $2,600 to pay towards my student loans. I wish I'd gotten started on this journey sooner, of course, because then I could have been piling up this money over the last 2 years instead of over the last 2 months. But we are where we are, and where I am is better than where I was, and that's unfortunately all I can do. So each one of my loans is in YNAB as its own account. Every single one. I got 15 student loans total, one of which I did pay off previously. One time I got a tax return, and I just paid one of them off, and just in a panic. It's probably not the one I would have paid off, looking back on it now, but those are all my student loans. $170,662.39. That's been the number for a year and a half, almost 2 years, I guess, at this point. But it won't be the number for much longer because we're going to keep tackling these things down. So, all right, I've got every student loan in its own category. They have the minimum payment right now for each of them is set to what interest will be when interest resumes. Obviously, there's no interest right now, but at the end of May, when the interest kicks back on, this one has a lower interest rate, $15.32 would be getting added on, but my minimum payment in my mind is going to be the interest accruement on each of these loans. But I also have all this money above and beyond that is continuing to grow as time goes on. And I am going to throw all that money at the largest loan, which is right now student loan 10. So right now, I'm just putting this money aside. It's in my account. I'm not applying it to the loans currently, but I will before the end of May when interest kicks back on. So it'll all go on full principal, knock one of these down pretty far. 10 is my largest loan and also I think has the same interest rate as 15. We'll find out, I guess, in a couple months. But for now, the plan is to throw all of this additional payment money at one of these loans and knock it down to get this massive, massive interest accruement as far down as possible before the payments kick back in. And then the goal will be to pay at least the interest every month, and then any extra dollar I can find and throw at any of these big boys here. That's where we're at with this. I have spent a lot of time on my budgets. I love them. If you've got any suggestions on how I can clean any of this up, feel free to comment and let me know. Otherwise, I will see you on Friday when I get paid. Subscribe if you want to follow along with this chaotic journey here. Otherwise, thanks for tuning in. See you next time.